Arms forward. If you have any injuries, patience that part of your body, substitute techniques and exercises, things you can do. Don't sacrifice good technique for speed or power unless it's a speed and power day. And it's not. Back. Regulate your breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Try not to hold your breath during the workout. Opposite directions. Switch. Crossing. Hands up under the chin, turns. Reach up, hands. Hands on the knees, forward and back. Open circles. Reverse. Leg out, ankle turns. Other direction. Up and down. Toes. Other foot. Other direction. Up and down. Toes. Knees up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stiff-legged behind us. Make sure there's nothing behind you. 1, 2. You want to keep in one piece anyways. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To the front with the knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This time left, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Left leg behind you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, pull your arms back and forth. Okay, so we'll go low back stance, low back stances, push-ups, leg raises. And we'll go back and forth from those, okay? So push-ups, I'm telling you, just in case there's things around, you have to move. Okay, sweep it to a horse. And you're still in warm-up, so be gentle. Drop down, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To the push-up position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On your backs, hands underneath for support if you want. Leg raises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back up to your low back stance position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To your push-up position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back over. Leg raises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to our low back stance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to our push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Leg raises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On your feet. Move around, shake it out. In place. Okay, we'll keep it nice and loose. Foot check followed by a front kick. Again, half the exercise has to be upstairs, so the guy's kicking. Hey, I'm not picturing somebody with a super good chamber. I'm picturing more of a kind of a bad front kick, swing kick. Normally, our foot check will drive forward. I'm going to drive him slightly at an angle, okay? So I'm going to foot check it, so his foot goes like this. Okay, so I'm going to go foot check, snap kick to the groin, back. Foot check, snap to the groin and back. Keep it loose and easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, shake it out. We'll go a little bit quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, loosen up. Good job, guys. Change the front kick to a side kick. So again, kind of depends on where his leg lands. Hit it, knee, back out. Okay, so he's going to go this way. So I check his foot that way, check the knee, and get out. Okay, again, loose and easy. So this guy's, his foot check went way out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's check it out a little bit more. We'll go a little bit faster on this round. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we'll change it to the foot check outside to the side, same thing. But instead of placing it down, I'm going to place it a little off my center line, opening up my left hip, and driving the side kick forward instead of out to the side. So maybe this guy gets foot check and pulls back a little bit. Okay, so foot check, crosses your center line, then opens up the center line so you can drive your side kick out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we'll just change. We'll keep that the same, but we'll add a back kick with the other leg. So foot check, open up, side kick, place it down, back kick, step out. Okay, so smooth is good. Ready? 1, back, 2, back, 3, back, 4, back, 5, back, 6, back, 7, back, 8, back, 9, back, 10. Back. Okay, so now we'll just add a step up reverse roundhouse. So this stays the same, that stays the same, that stays the same. Then you're going to step up and do a heel hook. Okay, so we're just adding one more kick to the design here. 1, back, 2, back, 3, back, 4, back, 5, back, 6, seven, 8, 9, 10. Hey, stretch it down, relax, lower back. Into the nose, out through the mouth, a little lower. And a little bit lower. Okay, we'll stick to the same idea. Right leg foot checks, but I want it to come back to the ground and then pop up into the groin. Okay, so it goes 1, and use the ground as a spring. Don't touch down to the cat, and then I want you to pop it up if you don't have anybody that lives underneath of you. If you have somebody that lives underneath of you, don't touch the ground at all. Use the speed motion, which will be the second one we do anyways. So bounce off the floor. Visualize. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So obviously you feel bouncing off the ground, you're going to get a little bit more power, even some speed using your environment. Try to do the same thing, but get the same power, but get it from not touching down. I mean, you just strive for it. So you got to get a... If you have a person coming at kicking you, you bounce off the foot. That's like bouncing off the ground. But since we don't have that, we are going to visualize it. So if you have a person kicking at you, that bounce of his leg is like the floor, okay? So in order to do this in your mind, has to be a double. You have to spring off of his leg. Right when it comes back to the chamber, you have to snap it in there. Okay, so and then step out. So no touch of the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you're going to alternate. 1, turn, turn. Kind of compare the two. Here we go. Ground first, then air. 1, 2, Okay, stretch out to the horse. Distance. Elbows on the inside of those knees. Push the knees out, let the toes right out to 45 degrees. Make the knees and the toes point in the same direction. Sink into your stance. Shift from one side to the next. Open the hips up, loosen up. And stretch them out now. Okay, back up. Okay, so now we're going to, again, obviously the theme must be foot checks. So we'll go foot check. We went from a foot check to a front kick. We went from a foot check to a side kick. Now obviously that could be a roundhouse, but let's focus on that front leg. So let's go to the foot check, back down into the roundhouse kick. Okay, so you might want to visualize, if you're going to roundhouse the knee, probably a bad idea. So I'm seeing somebody getting halfway back and giving me a free target. Okay, so foot check, bounce off the ground, turn into the roundhouse. Because our toes are facing the wrong direction, you need to make sure when you come back that you're in a cat stance, that you're not in this position. That when it comes down, it rotates, starting you to turn around, and then the extension. But the object is the spring. Don't do it step by step like that. You lose what we're training. So it goes 1 and back. Okay, here we go. Loosen up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good guys. Kind of easy with the ground. So what do? We take the ground out of it. Now, watch your knees. Foot check, roundhouse. Okay, so you have to have some spring back from the foot check or you won't get the bounce. So I kind of think of it this way. The roundhouse kick starts right here. On the retraction of the foot check is the beginning of the roundhouse. If not, you'll have a good kick, but it goes 1, 2, and you'll never find that seamless integration of your movements. Okay, so don't worry about the style so much. Connect the two pieces. Ready? 1, 2. Step either forward or back. Doesn't really matter. Step where the body wants to go right now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now of course you know the formula. Combine them. Bounce off and then don't bounce off. 1. See which one's a little easier. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, stretch it down. Loosen the back up, keep the knees slightly bent. Put the weight above your knees. Shift the hips from left to right. Free up the lower back. Release it, breathe into it, relax, shift. If that's not where the tension is, change it to your hamstrings. You just lock the legs out a bit. Okay, so let's go back to the foot check, but let's go ahead now add a cutting elbow to it, or a smashing wing. So just so you kind of know, if you apply the foot check and he's really kicking at you, not cheating a little bit, trying to get you, kind of looks like this. The kick hits here, the foot check stops it right about there, snaps back this way, goes to the ground, and then the head comes forward. You have a 1/10 of a second to acquire your targets, then the body uprights itself. Okay, because it won't do this because it's out of balance. So from this position here, comes up, I know because I've done it and I've had it done on me. So there's the foot check, snaps his leg out, here comes his head, you're just going to step around and finish with an elbow. So you step out, remember we talked about the angles, where is he? If this is his head, his temple will be on this palm, and hopefully his other temple will be on this one. And if I cut through, this is geared for another motion. But if I smash it here, as I step out, I'm going to leave my left hand here for a point of reference. That motion then should be temple distance. So from here, I can't really do this to here because I want to do it this way. You come back in. So our step out, foot check, elbow, back fist. Okay, I'm going into that open X for now. And you can retract your back fist. Okay, so slow and easy at first and then work whatever, but fluidity is important. Your focus is that right there. Visualize his head coming down. Okay, so just connect the pieces. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A little quicker if you don't force it. If not, your speed's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. We'll go, we're kind of set up for either a front kick, side kick, roundhouse kick, probably not the reverse roundhouse. So let's get back to the open X. Okay, so now use our imagination. Our opponent's head was here, then I hit it so it might be here, but he's probably still there. I'm just going to drive up the shin right up into the groin, come in with another elbow. Why I'm using the second elbow because it didn't work the first time, I don't know. I like my elbows. Okay, so foot check, hit, strike, shin, finish. Okay, so again, 1, 2, my focal point is right here on my foot, coming up underneath the groin. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, breathe. Expand. Push. Relax, center yourself. Breathe in. And out. Okay, so we'll go foot check. You can break up your surroundings into 4 quadrants. Just draw a circle around you, which is about 6 foot is good, or a really good bow stance. Then draw your circle. You're in the center of your circle. You know the theory, breaking the circle, 4 winds of heaven, all that stuff plays into that. If I step this direction, my circle, of course, kind of follows me. So when we're doing this, when I'm pointing forward, if I turn this direction, that's always 12 o'clock. Okay, so this is 12 o'clock right now. If I say step over to, 10 o'clock, and if I have to be facing that way, that's not 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is always, so follow your nose. Left side, draw the circle, put a plus sign in it. Put the feet on the 2 sides of the plus, the one down the center. In the center where your groin is right there, you're in the center. Okay, left quarter is quadrant 1. Left back quarter is quadrant 2. Right is quadrant 3. Quadrant 4 is right there. So if my opponent, and these are important for your training, multiple attacks, but if my person is in front of me to 9 o'clock, he's all in 1 quadrant. A good movement, or a great movement will work no matter where he's at. So if you have more than 1 opponent, you hear the advice, square up to your opponent. Tell me how you do that if you have 2, 3, and 4 opponents. You're going to be going back and forth, you're going to look kind of silly. But if you have different quadrants, no matter where he's at, he's in quadrant 1. You don't need to square up with him. He's here. What we do changes only subtle. So I'm going to give you an example. If we flip it. Okay, so if I'm here, and my opponent's facing me, and this is his quadrant 1, right? So I'm at 12 o'clock. Here comes my front kick. Here's his foot check. I slip over here. He's still facing 12 o'clock. He doesn't square toward me, because if he squares toward me and my friend is on that side, he loses sight of the other person. Plus, it's just bad math. Easier to do this way. If I throw my front kick at him, he's at 12 o'clock. He can do the foot check from that angle. So that foot check is worked from here to here. So we'll go a little bit more down the circle here and throw another one. Now at that point, the foot check still works, but the technique becomes suspect only in the case of the way I'm standing, why he's throwing a front kick, that a foot check would work. So the theory and everything works. My opponent just isn't that wise. So at that point, it's still good. So I've got a technique that works no matter where my opponent is. So I don't need to study if he moves 15 inches to the left. I'm not going to go, oh gosh, what do I do? Now in class, we always have our opponent in front of us, but for you higher belts, you need to start thinking differently. As soon as he gets past this quadrant, different techniques apply. Obviously, if he's in quadrant 2 and I'm trying to throw foot checks, to throw a foot check, I have to turn all the way around. By that time, I've been hit, right? But I can do side foot checks, right? So just kind of visualize that for the next little while, because a lot of the movements and the techniques we do are based on that being where we know where our opponents are. I just don't ever have time in class to set that up, because the class would be over by the time we're done and you wouldn't have learned anything. So now, we've got our quadrant. Put a person in front of you at 12. He's going to do the front kick. We're going to go back to the beginning of the class. Foot check, front, step back out. Now, that's my 12 o'clock. I've closed it off, and now that's my, so I've closed the groin off toward that quadrant, because maybe his friend's right there. I could be here. That's called an open side. I may want that, but I think I'm going to want this, okay? Now that's number 1. So there's 3 movements we do. Here comes the front kick, check, step, kick, back down, he's here. Move him over a little bit. So it's check, kick, down. Now I'm not facing him, I'm still facing 12 o'clock, because I want to get these things in your brain. Okay, later we can shift this, and your quadrants will shift with you. Now he's over here, somewhere at 9 to 10 o'clock. So that point takes a full body turn. 1. that point, I will turn and change it because getting back here would take way too long. But we can do that. Okay, so foot check, front, back. Here, one extra pivot, kind of silly since I'm not done with it. Okay, now put them back here. So that's our practice. 1, 2, 3. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we keep it, I gotta draw things on the ground. We kind of keep it easy, you know, 1, 2, 3. So you take that quadrant and divide into, you know, halfway through, put a slash. But the fact is, he can be anywhere around that. I want you to think about this when you start doing your higher movements. He can be anywhere around that, and his front kick comes, you're going to cover it. Okay? So you don't have to think. I know if I'm in my right bow stance, because I've trained enough, I know what I can do successfully from this quadrant and what I can't do and what I need practice. I also know what I can do from here successfully. I also know what my opponent would do from here. Okay? So if I switch it, it just switches sides. It's the same thing. I'm just going to be the other leg, right? So knowing that, if my opponent does a leg switch and ends up a little bit over here, the last thing I'm going to do is shift over. During that shifting movement, unless you know it calls for it, during that shifting movement is probably what he's going to attack. That's why they do that stuff. So if we break this down to something really simple, we're doing calming the ocean. Bang. Okay? Your opponent moves over here. It should still work. If he's over at this angle, it should still work. If it only works because he's directly in front of you, that's a basic movement. It's suspect. I put it up on maybe. I want to train a motion that works here so I don't have to think. So going back to my point is, no matter where he is during this area, I don't have to have 50 movements. I have a foot check, foot check, foot check, or that's a shin check, foot check, and if he moves, I don't have to learn new techniques. Makes it a little bit simpler. So we went 1, 2, now we use the same leg. Okay, foot check, kick. Okay, foot check, kick. Using the ground to bounce it off. I'm not going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say 1, you do 3 motions. 1, 2, keep it simple, visualize it, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1's on your own. Let's see what you got there. Ready? 7. Good. One more. Okay, so I think all of you guys understand this concept, and if I were to put multiple attacks and we were to go through a bunch of scenarios, it would be like, oh, this is a real easy way to understand my movements. So when I step out to the 45, or if I pivot to that open X, I'm adjusting my circle, my quadrants. I can tell my higher belts whether they've internalized that concept, and it's super important later on, I'll set up a few opponents, and I'll take a very basic movement like we're doing here, and I'll watch them. And if they orientate off of the circle with the multiple attacks, they've got it. But if they orientate off the opponent, even though they have other people that are just, I usually just have them standing here so there's no real threat, and then they'll subtly orientate to where they think or they perceive the threat. And then they break the circle, and then if they don't do that intentionally, they inevitably give an advantage to the person over here because they're fixated on what the attack is. Okay, which is a good thing to be aware of, but the one that's going to get you is the one you're not aware of, right? So the ones I know that have it, they'll go bang, bang, and then they orientate, their circle changes. Even if they use different positions, you can tell they keep the people segmented. It makes it really easy. Okay, so you're going to have to imagine that. I'm going to say go. When I say go, you got an opponent at 1, 2, or 3. Pick one angle. Bang, bang. And then shift to a different stance and immediately see your circle. Okay? Quadrant. Now it's reversed because I changed. 1, 2, 3. But don't worry about that. We'll keep it the same so that we don't have to, we talk the same language. And then come back up. So now maybe he's in front of you. Okay? Instantly, where's 12 o'clock? Okay, so here we go. So you're going to pick one and just explode. You don't know who it is yet. Normally I use the number. Okay, so that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. 2! Bang, bang, back. Don't anticipate it. That's 3. 2. 1. 3. 1. Okay, now, whenever I say I want you to hold in your last position. 2. Okay, now stop, don't move. Whatever your position is, I'm in a horse stance, I did that on purpose. Draw your circle, and now, where's 12 o'clock, where's 1 o'clock, where's your quadrants? Well, I usually am in a bow stance, so I'll just shift to here. There it is. I'll leave it right there. I'm not going to move it over here. That comes later. I'll keep it shifted right there. So shift to your bow if you weren't in one. Now, an opponent, an opponent, and an opponent. So anytime you get off, because you're thinking one person, bang, and you square off to that person, especially in class, I'm okay with that if you just adjust your circle. Adjust your circle and you'll be fine. Okay, because that means you're thinking about more than one opponent. Okay, so we did 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. Let's go ahead and do each one twice. Okay, so really quick. 1, 2, 3, good. Okay, so let's review a little bit. Front foot check. Moving his foot out to the side, opening him up. That's what we did earlier, right? Okay, and then using the ground, and then using his leg, and then switching legs. Okay, so now you can do all your foot checks on the other side, and you probably should. But you can also, we broke up the movements. We came across this way. Probably, again, like I said, if I got an opponent here kicking low, I think there's a problem with him, not me. But it worked in 2 segments. Maybe I do a foot edge check. Then turn around and use that front leg. He's forward, so now I can foot check this way. And then, so don't lose, we did this 2.5 weeks ago, right? So foot check, foot check. So just to review you, let's put the opponent in 3 ways. He's in front, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, okay? So foot check, foot check. Now he's over here. Foot check, foot check. Now he's over here, I change it. Foot check, foot check. Because to come all the way over this direction doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So foot check, foot check. Now he's back to here. That one I can do either one. Now he's in front. I just prefer that one in front. That's a personal choice. The reason I prefer that in front because I'm sideways here to come back around and do another foot check. Doesn't make sense, I should kick the guy. Okay, so we'll go front, we'll go foot check for training. Okay, to the side you can do any one you want, but this one I want the side check, then the front check. And make them foot checks, not side kicks or front kicks. Okay, 1, 2, 3, ready, go. 1. Okay, now each time you do it, make sure you're in a stance. 2. 3. 4. 'Okay, so again, that's training. 2 foot checks at the same time means either you missed or something happened. So let's add the kick. So if I go forward with this one, that sets the front kick up with the free leg pretty easy. If I go forward with my right foot check, that frees up that leg. And as I start to swing the angle, remember I said the technique should be the same, but because I prefer a front kick this way, maybe that's a side kick. It's still a kick and it still works. Okay, so don't be too tight on these rules. So you're going to check either foot edge or not, and add an instant kick to your opponent. And visualize what he's doing. 1, 2, 3. 1 count. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Okay, stretch it down, relax. Let the hamstrings release. Can't be too tight doing foot checks. A little bit lower. Okay, put a foot out, grab the toes, release. Other side. Okay, shake it out a little bit. Yeah, let's that's good. Let's bend. I don't want to stretch today. Bend down. Let's get bowed out. So, one of the different things, say in an advanced class compared to a basic class, depending on the day of the week and how I feel, is how you think opposed to what you do. So, if I'm in a basic class, I'm thinking about the technique, the fundamentals, what foot position is, all the stuff that I already know, but I still get myself into that mode because I still want to get better. When I'm in an advanced class, I'm not thinking about big toe up, little toe down, last 2 inches of the heel, all those technical things, because that breaks the movement down and makes me more robotic, and I shouldn't be thinking that way in advanced class unless that's where I'm at in my training. So in the advanced class, I'll try to flow more and get the whole movement and the whole concept. If I have a problem with any of the techniques, like if my side kick was a little off or something, back to the basic class I go with that mindset, but not during this time. So today, I wanted you to visualize and understand the foot check. If you spent 6 to 8 weeks taking your foot check and thinking about a person kicking at you, you just foot check and then do whatever motion comes to you after that, you would understand the foot checks more than you'd ever have to. And they would stay with you forever. And they just come at you, whatever. The foot checks are a little harder to become a subconscious movement because they're kind of an attack. You're driving that foot into a front kick, so it's an initial attack. Like a block is a reflex, whoa! And now you consciously attack the person. Well, a foot check is usually a conscious attack. That means you see the front kick coming, you decide that you're going to deal with that with a foot check opposed to just stepping out of the way. For a while. Then later it becomes a defensive. So I would spend I'm not going to do it, but I think you guys should spend a couple of weeks at least and start thinking about your foot checks and then add those quadrants on here. So you'll see very quickly that some of the quadrants, your foot check won't work because they won't kick you there. So at that point, by the way, a foot check is good for anything below the belly. Okay, anything higher than that, a foot check, you got to be extremely flexible, and then now you're just showing off. Okay, let's get that out. Good job today, guys. Yeah! Thank you, guys.